So I want to share a story here. I had gone to a real estate seminar. We're probably talking about 15 years ago, maybe even longer, but about 15 years ago, give or take. And I was sitting in the audience. I was listening to this individual who's a friend of mine now. His name is John Dessauer, and it was great. He was sharing on stage. And then another speaker was sharing on stage, and then another speaker was sharing on stage, and I was kind of listening to all of these individuals, but it was fun to see a friend up on stage. But nonetheless, one of the speakers got up there, and he told a story where he was teaching at a seminar similar to the seminar I was at, right? He was on stage, there was an audience full of people, and he looks out to the crowd and says, let me rewind here for a second. He tells his whole education, he shares his whole education spiel that he was giving to the students. He gets to the point where he's all done, he's wrapping up his talk, his speech, and he wraps up his speech by saying, just by a show of hands, who's going to go out there and actually take action? Please raise your hand, right? And of course, everybody raises their hand because everybody just paid big money to be in the audience to hear what this guy had to share. He's teaching how to invest in real estate, and we all had paid a heavy ticket price to learn, these secrets and tricks of the trade. And so everybody raises their hand except for one lady. One lady stands up. So obviously she stands out, right? And so he's looking in the audience and he's like, oh, wow, okay, this lady's standing up. So he gets on the mic. He's like, "Oh, ma'am, hey, thank you for standing up. Do you mind if I ask why you're standing up?" And she says, "Yes." No, I don't mind why you ask why I'm standing up. The reason why I'm standing up is you just asked who's going to go out there and take action. And she says, "I'm standing up to let you know that I have to take action. I don't just want to take action. I have to take action." She shared how her son was on life support and had been on life support for a very long time, and was at the point where the hospital was now sharing with her that unless she could pay X amount of dollars per month or whatever it was, that it was going to be time to consider pulling the plug on her son's life support. And so she invested in this real estate course because she needed to figure out how to make money as quickly as possible, larger than what she was making at her 9 to 5, just to be able to keep her son alive on life support. See, that is true motivation. That's what's going to get you out of bed early, having to go to bed late at night, and taking massive action every second that you can. She's going to still go to her job, her 9 to 5, but before and after, she's going to grind it out every single day. That's not inspiration. That's motivation. And that is why you need to figure out what is your why. Not what inspires you, but what is your why. What's going to keep you motivated to take massive action on a regular, consistent basis, daily, hopefully, like this woman who stood up and shared that she has to if she wants to keep her son alive. That is what I mean by take a second. And for some people, obviously, that's their why might not be that big. I mean, that's a huge why, but you can tell that is a why that would make any parent do the extra, taking the extra hustle, the extra grind, and doing more than what they would normally do. Not being rich, right? Again, you'll hear people like, I want to be rich, but then they don't do anything because being rich is not motivating enough to do the extra grind that takes to, go to bed late, wake up early, do that extra hustle. It's just not a motivating factor. It's just not enough of a motivating factor. Why do you want to be rich, right? So here's the reality. For the most part, anyone can achieve their goals or greatness or whatever their heart desires, but most people just won't pursue it long enough to see it happen because their why was not important enough to keep going through all of the hardship and all of the downs and nightmares through, pursuing one's goals, right? If it's a difficult enough goal, there's going to be a lot of downs before you get that top. And so being rich, I had a mentor share this with me. He's like, because he had seen it a lot. Like he would mentor people and biggest thing a lot of people would say was, I just want to be rich. That's why I invested in this real estate course, because the guy on the television show or the radio commercial said that if I buy this course, I too could be rich. And he's like, okay, well, that's true. But is being rich alone just going to make you want to get out of bed early and go to bed late at night? No. What is it that you're going to do with the wealth, right? And that's where your why is. I'm going to travel the world with my kids, right? That's what's going to get you out of bed early and going to bed late. So you cannot just say that you want to be rich. I had a guest on my show, maybe a month ago, who played for the Oakland Raiders. And he said it so perfectly. He's in the fitness industry. He's retired from the NFL now, and he's in the fitness industry. And a lot of people, when he's coaching them or mentoring them, he'll ask them, okay, what is your goal? And they're like, I don't know, I just don't want to be overweight. And he's like, that's not a good enough goal. That's like saying, I want to be rich, but having no detail to that goal, right? Why don't you want to be overweight? Well, is it because you struggle going up the stairs, or is it because you don't like your appearance, or what is it? And what do you want to look like, right? So what's your goal? What do you want to look like? And their goal, they tell him, is I just don't want to be overweight. And he's like, no. Do you want to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was in the Terminator and won Mr. Olympia? Or do you want to be like Sylvester Stallone when he was the actor in Rambo? Or do you want to be like Hugh Jackman in Wolverine? Because all three of those individuals were ripped, they were not overweight, but they all had an extremely different body build that would take an extremely different roadmap to get to that result. You have to know exactly what you want to know, to be able to create the roadmap to get to wherever your goal is. So to be rich is just like saying, I don't want to be overweight. You have to know exactly why you want to be rich or wealthy or whatever it may be. It's to travel the world with your family. It's to buy your parents a home. It's to pay off their home. It's to have the flexibility and freedom. You have to know exactly why so that you can start working towards that goal in its unique path, because every path is going to be different. Okay, before we part ways, in case you have a dog or know someone else who does have a dog, I wanted to take a quick second to show you the SnapLeash. The SnapLeash can literally do so many things, and I'm going to share with you one of the many cool things that it can do. As you can see, the SnapLeash is designed with 2 swivel hooks, one on each end. This end has a cushion stitched into it to make it comfortable when walking your dog. Now, all you have to do is take this swivel hook, put it into this very first grommet, and now you've got your handle. Okay, so now let's imagine you're at the park and you want to secure your pet quickly, safely, and easily to a park bench, a tree, or a pole because you just want to sit down and relax. Well, all you need to do is take this swivel hook, remove it from the very first grommet, wrap this leash around any size tree or pole or park bench, and put it into the appropriate grommet. And now you have secured your pet quickly, safely, and easily. And when it's time to head home, another great feature about the SnapLeash is you can simply wrap it around your waist for hands-free walking. Lastly, if you ever accidentally forget your waist bags at home, these grommets make a great place to fasten the waist bags so you never leave home without them. And if you want to see all of the other cool things that the SnapLeash can do, then please just click on the link below and find out why so many others are falling in love with the SnapLeash.